to the Make It Matter podcast. I am Ryan C. Greene, and we are here this episode with Miss Juanita H. Grant, one of our featured writers and contributors to the Make It Matter show and Make It Matter book and project. So thank you for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing great. Glad to have this conversation with you. I
Yes.
want to go ahead and introduce you to our audience because your chapter is one that I really was looking forward to, and it's Make Your Parenting Matter. So,
Yes.
I do a lot of personal development, a lot of business stuff, but I like this chapter because it was more on a personal level. So we're going to talk about that. So introduce who Juanita Grant is and how you got to become, or why this subject matter is important to you.
Yes. Hi, my name is Juanita Grant, and I am the parent mastermind. How did I get here? Let's see. Well, for me, I grew up different than a lot of my friends. I grew up with a wonderful family in a good neighborhood. However, in school, I was bullied. I experienced a lot of things, and I became a very protective parent. And that's what brought me to Parent Mastermind. I've worked in the finance industry for a very long time in the mortgage and real estate industry. However, with one of my coaches, Marquesa, she told me, she said, no, 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 I don't see finances for you. And I didn't understand why she said that. And when I had a VIP session in New York with her, she said to me, she was listening in on my phone calls as my children continually called me. She was like, that's it, that's it. And I said, what do you mean? She said, parenting. So that's how I came here to Parent Mastermind, not on my own. However, thanks to a really good coach who's seen in me the value that I had to offer people.
Okay.
So that's how I got here. I was going to a lot of different places speaking to women about finances, about empowerment, um, teaching how to be successful and to get to another level in life. Those things are very important. However, parenting is a lot more important than that. And I talk to people, women and men, and both, but women in particular, to let them know, regardless of what you've been through in your life, you can still be an amazing parent.
Yeah. That's great. And I think that you know, parenting right now has taken on such a different look for parents. I
Yes.
have two kids myself. I feel fortunate because one just started college, one is in 11th grade.
Wow.
But for those parents of elementary school kids, middle school kids,
Yeah,
parents have had to now become teachers as well as everything else. So parenting is just taking on a whole nother look right now. So
absolutely.
uh, what about your chapter, or when a parent's looking at your chapter, what will they get from reading your chapter, and how can you kind of help them, navigate this new world we're living in right now with our kids all sitting at home looking at us and bugging us while we're trying to work?
Oh my goodness. You know, creativity is the key today. A lot of things in life have changed. And I really feel that it's important, especially with all of the virtual learning that is going on. I tell parents, you know what? Didn't you watch the Jetsons when you was a kid? Didn't you know that this was gonna
Right.
happen?
Right.
But on the serious note, because I do like to laugh and joke, virtual learning has really changed the lives of a lot of people at home, parents and children. And I remind people that we're our children's first teacher. We're their first example of what a leader is to be. However, we weren't prepared this time because we were going to work. We was leaving the house, going to an office, working our 9 to 5, picking up or dropping off the children, coming home, cooking dinner. And it's not like that. Our kids are home all day long, where
Mhm.
some of us are lucky enough to be home. And then some of us are going back and forth. But today, I feel it's really important to be creative. I decided to go to do a personal chapter because a lot of us have went through various things in life, and that is spilling over today.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
easy when you drop your kids off and when you're away from your spouse, you can manage those things. But when you're in the house with someone 24/7, things begin to bubble over. And
Absolutely.
I want parents to understand, regardless of what we have experienced in the past, we could take those, turn it around, and utilize it as a very positive instrument on how to do things better, to be a better support system for our children so that we can um, learn to listen, one, and then two, not only listen, but how to convey that information and share to say, you know what, I understand that you're experiencing this. Maybe these are some of the tools that you could use, but it's important to listen so that we could give the best advice and the best support because a lot of kids are being bullied on these computers. I
Yeah.
don't know if
Oh
you
yeah.
know that,
Oh
Ryan.
yeah. I do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullying is very real. One of my 13-year-old, one day he had a meltdown and I didn't understand what was going on. He's in class, he's doing what he's supposed to, talking to the students and the teachers. And then he comes up to me and I asked him, what's the matter? Next thing you know, he just had a meltdown. He fell on the floor and started rolling around. I was like, boy, get up. What is going on? I said, I can't help you if you don't talk to me. I don't, where do we start? What's going on? And he shared with me because his mic wasn't working. The kids were private messaging him and they were making fun of him. And he wasn't used to that. He was already stressed out about being home. He's very
Mhm.
athletic. He was stressed out about being on a computer all day. And he just had a meltdown. So I spend a lot of time. We do activities in between classes. I love Zumba. They have 10 and 20-minute sessions. So we do a lot of different activities just to break that monotony up, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's good stuff. I think that we've seen that this pandemic. I think as adults we talk about how bad and hard it is on us, but I mean it's tough for the kids as well. I mean that social aspect of school is important to just the development period. You know, just like we like going to work with our coworkers, that their schoolwork and their school rather environment is important to them as well. So
yeah.
I want to ask you then. So, what would if a parent is reading your chapter? What's the one thing you hope they're most impacted by and that they take out from reading your chapter in the book?
Okay. So if a parent is reading, I feel that they'll be empowered
Mhm.
because oftentimes when you had a child, did the instructions come with
No, indeed, no, indeed,
it?
no, indeed. Yep.
I want them to be empowered to know that they are an amazing parent, that they can be. You know, I'm really encouraging this time, Ryan, self nurturing because a lot of us, we're so busy giving. We're making sure that our children have, we're making sure that our spouse or significant other has. I'm really encouraging self nurturing, one, and knowing that you're special and that regardless of what's going on, that you can still be the best parent. And that's what is very important for us to know, especially today, because being on a computer, I don't know about you, but me, I went from having one meeting to having a cell phone, a laptop, and a tablet. I'm in 3 meetings at one time. I
Wow.
don't know how
Yeah.
that happened. I thought it was going to get easier. So
Right.
I really want parents to know that you are your child's leader, that you can be the best leader ever, but also to take care of yourself in doing so.
And that taking care of yourself kind of takes me to the next question I want to ask is really what does fulfillment look like for you? Because we're talking about having impact, but we also want to talk about being fulfilled because a lot of times we lose that part out. When we're givers, we just worry about helping others. And like you said, we don't have that nurturing piece. So what does fulfillment look like for you?
Interesting. Fulfillment look like for me. Well, hmm, fulfillment. When I think of the word fulfillment, I look at I look at like the Lisa Nichols, and I encourage myself or Oprah and I say, different people, different pioneers have experienced different things. So for me, being a leader, traveling, making sure that my family is stable. And what do I mean by stable? People look at stocks and bonds or different things like that. For me, fulfillment is being in the right frame of mind, being
Mm.
healthy, exercising, making sure I'm my best me. I love to travel, and I'm a nature girl. So what a lot of people don't know, I love camping. I love
Wow.
fishing and different things like that. So I can't do those things if I'm not healthy, if my mind isn't right. So fulfillment means to me to do the best with what you have and the resources and tools that you have to be able to travel, to make sure that you have a nest egg, to be secure financially. I may not be rich, but I have different resources in place so that if I want to go camping, I'm able to do so. If I want to travel, I'm able to do so. And to live my life without limits. If COVID hasn't taught me anything, Ryan, one thing that it has taught me, since I've had several family members to be affected, including my 93-year-old grandfather and my 94-year-old grandmother,
Definitely
I'm
sorry
learning
about
to
that.
live without limits
Mhm.
and also with no fear, to be successful and for everything that I do to make sure I do it to the best of my ability, because we just don't know.
Right, right, right. So I asked each author this one question. If you were to talk to your 18-year-old self, if you're going back and talking to you as an 18-year-old, what would you tell yourself? What one piece of advice would you give yourself then to steer your journey, knowing now the road you had to travel? What would be advice you would give yourself back then?
Wow, that's a good question. What would I tell my 18-year-old self? You know, whew, I would tell them to prepare for the future, to make sure that everything that you have a plan A, B, C, D, E. Because when something fails, you need to be ready to go to the next thing. Um, to live without limits, to open your mouth. And that's the other thing, speaking up for yourself. One thing that I never did when I was younger, I never spoke up for myself, Ryan. I allowed a lot of people to make choices for me, and it's different now. And I would train my 18-year-old self how to speak, what to say, when to say it, so that they would have everything that they need to be successful and to be able to sit at anybody's table, but to be prepare them to be explosive and dynamic for today.
Awesome. And last thing I ask is, you could have been a part of any project. So, what was it about the Make It Matter project that made you want to be a part of this project and make sure that you can share your message through us?
Yes. Well, a couple of things. Brian, who works with you, he's amazing. He gave me the opportunity to listen to you speak. I loved what you had to say because I had no intentions on doing another anthology after the first one. And I was actually working on my book. But the way you presented yourself, and when I went through your other course, I was just like, you know what? I can do this.
All
And
right.
and then the title, Make It Matter. Where I'm at in my life with everything that's been going on, a lot of stuff has been going on. It's important to share with people everything that we do in life, it matters.
Hmm.
So if we make it matter, where we can be get so much further today. And that's why I really want to share with parents, make your parenting matter, because what we do with our children, it definitely sets an amazing roadmap for our children to be successful, to be the best that they could be for themselves, and to be in a position to be an amazing parent, to do better than what we have done as parents.
Awesome. Juanita, I want you to give out your contact information, let people know how to get in touch with you, how can they can learn more about the Parent Mastermind, and then I'll leave you to give us the final words.
Yeah. So to get in touch with me, I have a website, and that would be Inspire by Juanita. That's INSPIREBYJUANITA.org. Email inspire by Juanita@gmail.com. Let's see. I'm not the best with social media, so you can look me up on Facebook at Inspired by Juanita and Juanita Grant. So let's see what else. That's the best that I could. I know Juanita Grant 100 is my. Don't laugh at me, everybody. So Juanita Grant at Juanita Grant 100 is my Instagram, and also you can find me on LinkedIn under Juanita Grant. And my last closing remarks. Everybody, remember, no matter what you've experienced in life, you can still be the best and amazing parent. And remember that We are our children's first leaders. So make it matter, make it count. It's important. Our children are dependent upon us, and it takes a village to raise a child. So make it matter.
All right. Thank you so much. You all can get the book and read Juanita's chapter, enroll in her course, www.themakeitmatterproject.com/Juanita. Make sure you go ahead and share that out. Tell everybody else about it. I look forward to talking to you and working with you again real soon.
Thank you, Ryan. Looking forward to it. Thank you
All
for
right.
having
Thank
me
you.
today.